see a lot of me today. I'm up here, I'm going to be in Unmuted with Brody later on, and then Drew and Brody hit up some FGC Wednesdays with CEO action. Yeah, love that wrestling. Listen, now it's time for more of me, okay? We got you a Game Files all about Fallout.
War never changes.
There is no franchise that embodies the apocalypse quite like Fallout. As one of the most important RPGs of the 1990s, the Fallout series has grown to become one of the biggest franchises in modern gaming under the hand of Bethesda. Yet Fallout's journey spans decades, with financial struggles, fan backlash, and one big lawsuit shaping the franchise into what it is today. To find out where it all began, we have to go back to 1988. That year, American developer Interplay Entertainment released Wasteland, a post-apocalyptic open-world RPG set in the American West. It was this title, along with several others, that earned Interplay a reputation of being a quality developer. Fast forward a few years, and Interplay was able to acquire the license to the GURPS RPG system and planned to develop a spiritual successor to Wasteland. Yet, when it became apparent that the game would feature a lot of violence and gore, Interplay dropped GURPS and made their own RPG system called Special. Set in the 22nd century, the game that would become Fallout was set in an alternate universe where technology was developed on an entirely different track starting in the 1940s. In the year 2077, the United States and China started a nuclear war that destroyed the world, with pockets of humanity hiding in vaults in the US. You play as a survivor in one of those vaults who has to venture out into the wasteland and has to find a way to save his home. Taking 4 years to develop, Fallout was released in 1997 to great acclaim. Its unique setting, the special system, and the gameplay itself set it apart from other RPGs in the era. It sold very well, which caused Interplay to task the newly formed Black Isle Studios with developing a sequel. Though most of Black Isle Studios consisted of veterans from the first Fallout, the team rushed Fallout 2 out the door for a 1998 launch, to the point that it became known for a number of bugs and a huge amount of missing content. It was still well received and sold well, but its numerous issues hurt the game's reputation despite it being much bigger and often better than its predecessor. Fallout was a popular franchise on PC at this point, but a direct sequel wouldn't be released until 2008. That's because behind the scenes, things began to fall apart. Interplay first decided to expand the Fallout license with the tactical strategy game Fallout Tactics: Brotherhood of Steel in 2001. This is followed by another spin-off on consoles in 2004, the similarly named Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, which didn't sell well at all. After releasing several other games, Black Isle began to work on Fallout 3 in the early 2000s, which they codenamed Van Buren. Development was going well and it was nearly completed in 2003, but Interplay's financial situation was dire, and they were closing studios left and right. In 2003, it was Black Isle's turn, and they were shut down on the cusp of finishing Van Buren. To recoup some financial losses, Interplay sold the license to Fallout 3 and the rights to the entire franchise to Bethesda Softworks. Rather than use Van Buren assets, Bethesda rebuilt the game from the ground up, changing the series forever in the process. Instead of being a tactical RPG, Bethesda decided to create a first-person RPG. Rather than be tied down to the series' legacy in California, Fallout 3 would be set in DC, decades after Fallout 2. After years of development, Fallout 3 would be released in 2008 to high sales and critical acclaim. Though many longtime fans of the franchise were unhappy with the changes made. They wanted new Fallouts to be similar to the original, and some even boycotted the franchise as a result. Yet, Fallout 3 was taking the world by storm. 2 different Fallout projects were in development. The first was Fallout New Vegas, a spin-off of Fallout 3 by Obsidian Entertainment, set in the ruins of New Vegas. When it was released in 2010, many hailed it as one of the best RPG experiences ever, despite it containing so many bugs and missed content that it became far less popular than its predecessor. The second project was Fallout Online, which was an MMO that Interplay was working on. Despite selling the rights to Bethesda, Interplay kept the back license to a Fallout MMO, which they began working on in 2007. In 2009, Bethesda sued, arguing that they had the rights to any and all Fallout games. The suit lasted for several years before Bethesda and Interplay ultimately settled in court, with Bethesda keeping the rights for a few $1 million. The franchise was quiet for a few years until 2015, when Bethesda released 2 Fallout games in a year. The first was Fallout Shelter, a Fallout game for mobile devices. The second, and the bigger of the 2, was Fallout 4. Taking the series to Boston, Fallout 4 strayed even further from Fallout's origin by emphasizing exploration and crafting over the RPG elements of the past. But despite all of that, or perhaps because of it, Fallout is one of the biggest RPG franchises in gaming. Its detailed, strange world filled with mutated creatures and 50s science fiction is unlike anything else. It's gone to places no one could have predicted in 1997. But it remains beloved despite it all. Because in the end, one fact remains: war never changes. Gaming and esports hot topics, hot tweets, the spiciest memes. I'm Marissa Roberto.
And why do you do this? I'm Who's Your Daddy Moore, and we're going to present all the goodies we've gathered, which we'll discuss and hopefully argue. But luckily for all of us, if that happens, we have a mute button. I want to shut you up from writing these scripts. Jesus.
Okay, you know what? That was gold. And so am I. Remember, we like when you call us out when we're wrong and praise us when we're spitting truth. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's dive right into our top stories with a brand new Apex Legends Battle Pass. Respawn released a Season 2 Battle Pass for its popular Battle Royale yesterday. The new season adds a new playable legend, Watson, giant animals that wander the map, a new airdrop gun called L-Star, new skins, and new challenges. Season 2 comes just over 3 months after Season 1 dropped, which was not very well received by the community and caused a big drop in play player base. Brody,
What?
do you think season 2, has the changes that could maybe uplift Apex and bring it back from the somewhat dead?
Yes.
Ooh.
I do. The first one, well, okay, so we need to give some history here.
Oh, let's tell us
History
more,
lesson
Mr. Science.
from Mr. Daddy Moore.
Oh, yes.
So originally, the Respawn didn't expect Apex to be this popular. They didn't expect Apex to pop off like it did. They're like, whoa, this caught us off guard. So they had to then direct some of the resources away from making Titanfall 3 into Apex, and that caused a bit of caused a bit of a leggy start for them at the beginning of the that game's launch.
Yeah.
So when they're trying to make content for it, they're like, okay, we gotta get something out there to get people interested. But it had a bit of a side effect of like, oh, the content they're going to make for this isn't that good. So now they've actually put their full resources into this. They've taken some time for season 2, and they said, hey, we're listening to you guys. We know what you guys want. Here is all of it. And I'm so excited for Ranked.
Yo, if there really is everything in this. If you just watch the trailer for this alone, man, there's even like jumping out of the sky emotes, like just different things you can do that make it so much more fun.
Fortniteify it.
They really did Fortniteify it. That's a perfect way to describe it. And that's okay because that's what people like. That's what young people like. And if they want to keep young people involved and young people playing, this is what they've got to do. I love that there's a new hero as well. Are we calling it heroes in Apex? I keep forgetting.
Champions.
Champions.
Yeah.
My God, you know what? Can you just keep it like one name across the board?
Yeah, right? Oh my God.
Mama's getting old. She doesn't remember. No, I love it. I think like even with this trailer alone, I might get back into Apex a little bit.
Yeah,
that's fun.
And for me, as someone that's been behind on my Rocket League grinding, this is even tempting me to pull away from that and get back into Apex. I was even talking to Sebby. We might jump back in. Yeah, he'll be our backpack. He'll carry all our items for us.
No, I don't think Seb is that good at it. We need to play. No, you know who's really good at Apex? Ron Lee. Ron Lee is top tier at Apex. I watched him play for a bit. He was streaming the other night. Dang, that boy's got talent.
Right, so him and I will carry you. We'll jump in.
Okay, whatever.
Deal. All right. Anyways, moving on. Optic Gaming's Gears of War squad is legendary. If you don't know, it's won 17 event championships since their signing in August 2016, and is easily the best Gears of War team of all time. Which is why it came as a shock when Optic announced yesterday that it is dropping the squad. This comes on the heels of Optic being purchased by Immortals, and the departure could be a result of that. I see you shaking your head, Marissa, so I'm gonna let you just go in first.
No, I'm so disappointed for them. I'm so disappointed for their fans. Do you have any idea how many fans this team had? 17 championships. Yeah,
it's one of the biggest esports brands out there.
Hashtag Green Wall, but the Green Wall has been completely dismantled by these big executives coming in, buying Optic, and now selling it off because they're like, you know what? Maybe this is not as lucrative as we thought it would be. We're just gonna sell it. That's literally what just happened here. Sadly, for Optic Hector, for all of these boys better be picked up by a team. But literally, Immortals came in, they bought it. They're like, you know what? We don't give a flying F about Gears Esports at all. Even though this is a top tier team, the most top tier team we've ever seen.
To be fair.
No, we've ever seen, Brody. They just let them go like that. Oh my God, I can't even believe it.
At the end of the day,
someone take a drink.
Yeah, it's a business, and most people also don't give an F about Gears of War.
Yo, that is not true. Like, there are so many people that love Gears Esports.
I'm not hating.
It's gotten so much better over the years. It's just about to launch their new season. Are you serious?
I guess we had to use that. I'm trying to talk here. At the end of the day, I don't disparage that community, right? I think it's a great community. They love their game. They got a good thing going on. I love the hype they bring. But most people don't care. And Immortals has to look at this new acquisition and start to make sure that they're not bleeding money anywhere. And I guarantee you that was a money bleed for them. For sure. And they have to run a business. So now coming into this, they have to take all these brands and all these teams they acquired and say, okay, what do we really need? What's bringing us in something? And how do we make sure this is sustainable and we can keep being a company in esports?
I get that owning an esports team is a vanity play. It's a vanity investment for sure, because you have to make sure that that team wins and that team can pull in money. This team did win. It did pull in money. It was constantly pulling in money. Why? I don't understand why they just couldn't give them life, give them something. Brand it with Immortals. Immortals doesn't have a freaking team out there. Let it be that. Let them play on their vanity and play on their wins. It's an amazing team put together. Don't just let it die like that. Oh my God, it's just, it really upsets me.
I agree. I say it's sad, but it makes sense.
Friggin' business! Listen, Team Fighting Tactics is Riot's brand new auto battler, and it has attracted plenty of attention on Twitch, and I mean a lot of attention. It has consistently had more viewers than League of Legends ever since it launched last month, which leads to a very important question.
Yes.
Brody.
What?
If Teamfight Tactics is outperforming League of Legends, is that good or bad for League as a whole?
That's interesting. I guess it depends on the way you phrase it. So is the question, is this good for League of Legends, the game, or League of Legends, the brand? Because obviously, this is really good for the brand. And if they start to approach it as a brand, which they really have. I mean, they have plushies, they have the pops, whatever those little things are, right? Like, they have stuff you can buy. It's a franchise like Minecraft, right? It is something that they make money off of.
Sure.
Besides just the video game. So if they can make something else in that universe, keep people in that universe, and be able to storytell with that, I don't see why they'd be upset about the success of this at all and that it's outperforming their main game, right?
For sure.
Because even if League of Legends were to, it's not going to die. It's a completely different game. Even if League of Legends were to die from this, I don't think they're going to care because they're going to have so many other avenues that they're going to be able to pull in. They say, wow, our brand works across different types of games. What else can we do? And next thing you know, we got a League of Legends Overwatch.
Is that what you actually think is going to happen? You know, League of Legends Overwatch? Yes, it is a big ecosystem for sure. They've built a big, giant world here that so many fans are involved in. They can't get enough. They want more. And I do love this for them. It's amazing for their brand for sure. I love it. But I feel like it also can be a little bit incestuous in a way, right?
Okay.
Right, because we have everything just playing into this world and this bubble, and it's just like feeding into more. I mean, it's fine. I didn't mean to call you out there more.
Well, hey,
but
I get it.
It does feed into it, and I do, like, I'm down for it. As long as people are enjoying it, why not? Listen, if you love something, you just keep playing. As long as you're not hurting anybody, live your life.
It's a bubble.
Again,
it's going to be like when Hearthstone blew up, right? Hearthstone was huge for a while, and then it faded down, and then most people stopped playing it, right? There's
It's
still
still
a big
money.
no, there's still a big scene behind it,
Yeah.
but it's not as big as it was back in the day, right? It's just, the same thing's going to happen with auto chess, just across the board with Underlords, with this. It's people are going to get into it, they're going to play it a lot, and eventually they're going to go back to their main games. That's the inevitability.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting game to play. It's just an interesting game to try to get into and play.
Too RNG for me. Let's move on. Not talking about it anymore. Yeah. For our last story, Activision announced 2 new cities for the upcoming franchise Call of Duty World League. Los Angeles and Minnesota are joining the already announced Atlanta, Dallas, New York, Paris, and Toronto teams. Now more teams will be on the way, but that means that there are currently 5 American teams, 1 Canadian team, and 1 French team. Now, what's this? I know you're big in the COD scene, so I don't know, maybe you've heard rumblings from the peeps in there what they're thinking about this, but do you think it's dispersed enough, or is it, I mean, COD is a North American centered, just anything with consoles really, is North American centered, so I guess it makes sense that there are a lot of North American teams as a cross.
Honestly, I'm surprised that there was a French team announced already.
You know, well, they gotta give it a little bit diverse, you know.
For sure, no, I just feel like this is very much a scene that is based in, because it is also a console esport. A lot of console esports are obviously always here in North America because this is where consoles really shine.
Because we're a bunch of plebs in North America, and that's why we're bad at esports.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. We enjoy our games in any form, and we enjoy them on console, so why not? I do think that, yes, there needs to be more diversity, absolutely, but I mean, I also don't want there to be a whole Overwatch scenario where it's like, yeah, there are different teams from different cities, but they have players from completely different places that are playing for that city too, right? So, because there's going to be a lot of that as well. Like even the Toronto team that we have, they're American players, right? So it's going to be mostly American players that play this game, and you'll see most of that in franchising. So if they're all North American teams, they all come from North American cities, I'm totally fine with that because their players are indeed North American.
Yeah, I guess it's the same as like you look at traditional sports too. It happens as well, especially in hockey. I mean, like I think at one point it was like 500 something out of the 700 players in the NHL were Canadian, but a lot of them played on the American teams. I think that's fine. We have to look at the thing that's really good about esports starting to go the direction of city-based things is it brings people in a lot easier. Now you can have someone say, hey, I'm going to go to this COD event this weekend. Someone's like, I don't know COD. Like, who do I cheer for? And then it's like, well, just cheer for Toronto, right? And they're like, oh, okay. It's an easy in. It's an easy in. You don't have to give them all these stories to like pick the team that fits with what you like the best. Just cheer for your local team, right? So it is a really good move, I think, for esports to actually start heading that direction.
Oh my gosh, in general, absolutely. I mean, I can't wait for this to happen with Rocket League 2. I really hope it happens soon where you guys can franchise.
I think it'd be the perfect.
It's just amazing for just brands overall. And the fact that broadcasts are looking at it too now because they are starting to understand it. When it is attached to a city,
it's easy.
More
it's something everyone
understand.
understands. Hey, I know the place.
And you can talk to your grandma about it. Isn't that all we want?
Well, I suppose.
Okay, moving on. It's time to check in with streamers in Clip It. Our first clip comes from, it's another gem actually from Mario Maker 2. Forsen focuses in on a very difficult level.
You were tripping. I just gotta let you know, she was cheering on the whole time, like, go, 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 go. Oh no. You were stressing.
Dude, first of all, these communities are insane. These people that make these games, like, you guys are so freaking creative. I'm just like blown away. I can't do this stuff. Like, there's no freaking way. I love watching people do this stuff though. So much fun.
Yeah, I will watch other people suffer and put themselves through that stress. But I can't. I'm not gonna lie. It's any of the Mario games. I just never really liked the inputs. They felt really like kind of
squeeze yourself.
Like delayed. You know, they didn't feel as precise as they should be. So I always got frustrated and blamed the game when I couldn't do any of them. So I just stay away from it.
This is just amazing to me.
It's just unhealthy.
You're so good at Rocket League and you feel like it's
Mario's in too much input delay. I'm saying it right now. Anyways,
real.
next up, we have a clip from Candyland as she attempts to read from her chat using an American accent.
A T between an N and a vowel gets removed. International, not international. International.
International.
Dentist, not
International. International. Hello, y'all. I'm international. Hello, y'all. Hey, y'all. Put some batter on my waffles and smack them good. Hi, y'all. I would like y'all to put some batter on my waffles and smack them good. Thanks. Oh wait, was that US? What does that mean?
Was that a comp? Like, did someone put that, or that was just the first thing that came to her mind? Put some butter on my waffles and smack them good. What is that clip?
Like, I never know what this
That's now my phrase. I am adopting that phrase. But what did that come from?
I just never know what that kind of stuff, if it's like that was on purpose or it was just like
you gotta be skeptical, yeah.
Yeah, or just like she said that on purpose to like get clipped and now we're showing it on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I never know what that stuff. Because it's like an easy low-hanging fruit kind of situation. Who clipped this? Tyler? Come on. Like what the?
Call out.
BS. All right, it's truly the best time of day when we scroll through the Twitterverse to bring you all the things the pros blesses us on their timeline. I love a good subtweet, especially when it teaches all of us a nice lesson. Owner of Slice, Marty, aka Laser Chicken, says most industries have very small circles. Treat relationships as massively important if you want to grow in your career. Esports is no different. Already had someone not get an interview, badmouth us to others, and that got back to us. Digging your own grave isn't smart. # Daily Egg. This is so real, and this applies to every single aspect of life.
You know, I just don't get what. Even if you're not looking out for yourself, you're not trying to watch your own back by like, okay, well, I can't badmouth because it could come around again. Yeah. Just don't be a dick in the first place so that you don't badmouth, right? Like, if you're gonna do it, say it to the person's face. That's the way I believe it. And
just say it to the person's face.
Yeah, no, really. I just
like you're a dick.
You are. No, it just seems very odd to like go around anywhere.
It's not odd. It's not odd because people get salty. Okay, people get salty, and you just don't like think twice about what you say before it comes in your mouth. I am guilty of this too. Like sometimes I put my foot in my mouth because I'm just saying something because I think it's funny at the time, and I'm not being serious. Then it could be taken seriously. So this happens all the time. No, but what Marty is saying is absolutely correct. Like you have to really think before you open your mouth because this industry is very small, okay? And even if especially if you're like tweeting stuff too, like you're just completely shooting yourself in the foot. It's best to be kind to everybody. Also look at the other side of things. Look at it from their perspective too. Like don't just think they're out to get you. It could be something not even related to you at all. Don't be so salty about everything in life.
My whole personality is based around not thinking about what I'm about to say next.
I know, and that's why we script it. For you. And that's why I have to write words for you that you don't want to say.
Thank you.
All
so
right.
let's read these next words you wrote for me. Okay. Oh, hey, look, it's Dr. Disrespect. Not listening to Laser Chickens because he don't care. He's Dr. Disrespect. Hey guys, Jason Schreier here, editor for Kotaku. Analytics shows that Kotaku is on the uprise, averaging 3 to 5 likes per tweet compared to 1 to 3 likes 1 year ago. I also wrote a book about video games. I don't want to brag, but it's a favorite here at the office. I hate myself. Wow, Dr. Disrespect. What? I get it's the character. That was some mad disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, that was
Where did that come from?
Well, I mean, it is in his title. He is, I guess, meant to disrespect, if you will. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's been a back and forth here. Jason did write about him for Kotaku. So he's got some salt that he's got to say. But listen, Jason's not going to take that salt lying down. I can tell you that right now because he responded saying, hey man, like I said, I'd be happy to chat anytime. If it makes you feel more comfortable, I can Skype from the bathroom.
Okay.
Yo, he actually ended up getting more likes than the doctor.
No kidding.
Reply.
That's real because it's like a good if a well-phrased comeback is always better than the original insult. Oh, like, and there's no way to come back. If you have a good one, that's it. Dr. Disrespect cannot go back at that anymore. Unless it is like the best insult we've ever seen in the history of mankind, then no, that's it. That's the end of it, and you just lost that battle.
Well, what happened here really was esports and streamers versus mainstream gaming journalism. So the mainstream gaming journalists were really on Jason's side, and a lot of them came to his aid and liked his tweets, because Jason has been a staple in this community for a long time, and people do respect him a lot in this world. But a lot of people on the streaming side, there's just a divide there, because some people feel like game journalists are, you know, useless.
They're different worlds.
And they're completely different worlds. So like there's not a mutual respect there, unfortunately, coming through, and it's definitely showed in these tweets as well. So hopefully we can one day get on the same page and, I don't know, love each other and respect each other. But until now, we'll just deal with these salty internet memes, and we'll highlight them on the show and talk about them.
Yeah, well, speaking of, let's move on, because it is time to get us some crowd control. It's time to show you a bunch of useless things. Our first one brings us inspiration. A man of skill and culture got caught in traffic, and this is what happened. Man gets tired of sitting in traffic, hacks billboard to stream porn. That is some Watch Dogs level stuff right there.
No, that's not true.
Yo, straight up.
No,
So I looked into it. This is in Indonesia, where porn is like actually illegal. So this man actually was potentially facing 12 years in jail.
Wow.
But yeah, he got bored. The login details were up on the billboard, like right there while he was in traffic. He's like, I guess this is my opportunity. This is the moment I've been living for my whole life.
How did he, like...
So for 10 minutes was up there before they cut power.
I just don't know how they caught him. Like, I don't know how any of that works. Right? Like, they found his IP address?
Oh yeah,
like,
they can find the device that went into it. He didn't particularly hack it, and it wasn't a very good hack, but
obviously
he did put some up there, and that is a man of culture.
You know what? Like, shooters gotta shoot, right?
Yeah, go for it. Just send it sometimes, you know?
You gotta send her butt. Get that good content on the big screen. Time for a get off my lawn moment. There's always seems to be a cycle with Minecraft. Well, most games die out when a large chunk of the player base disappears. Minecraft has its own cycle. So game starts getting popular. Because of popularity, a lot of kids join. Now that kids join, it becomes uncool for the adults. The adults start leaving. The kids eventually move to another popular game. Minecraft gets cool again for adults. Repeat cycle.
That's fact. I've now seen a bunch of adults again. I'm an adult, right? People my age are playing it again. It seems to be a thing. Like it's all of a sudden on the rise in popularity again. And what's great about it is taking this break and going back into it. They've added so much content. Have you played Minecraft recently?
No, I told you I rage quit on my first night.
Oh yeah, you died right away. Have you literally never played Minecraft?
Well, I told you.
What's that been, a decade?
For one day, and then I died, and then I didn't come back.
Okay,
we've been over this.
We need to get you streaming on Twitch and playing some Minecraft. That is content I will pay to watch.
I died now because you want me to do it so bad I don't want to do it.
Well, so do it. Do it. I'll watch. I'll even subscribe. All right. All right. Anyways, let's end this day by making us all realize how unskilled and lazy we are. Claptrap9 is a 14-year-old who has been making amazing Little Big Planet maps for a while. He's overdone it now, though, by making a map editor in a map editor.
We can see how he works and what makes him tick. So what else should we put down, or should we just start from the beginning? Oh yeah, put one of these guys down, see how they act, and let's go. Oh my god, Boom Boom just runs straight for you. Keep running, Mario. Oh god, the seesaws do work. That is super impressive. Little bit laggy, but that's okay. Oh, these work too, that's so cool. How about the on-off switches? I think the Angry Sun might be more intimidating in this mode. It actually works, that is so cool. Well, Claptrap9, you have exceeded my expectations once again.
He has exceeded everything that I've ever done by the age of 14.
14 years old, he did that?
14, he made that. That is...
So just to clarify, that was somebody making Super Mario Maker inside of Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet. That was Little Big Planet you saw, not Mario Maker.
I'm blown away.
I remember when people started, I made a level once. You know what was in it? Just a bunch of random stuff in a box.
Wait, so
that was the extent of the level.
For Little Big Planet, you did that? Oh, Brody, I thought you were more creative.
It was creative. There was a lot of stuff there.
Okay, so basically what Brody's saying, don't hire him, but hire that 14-year-old for your next project.
That is dedication. That is insane. Like, my ADHD wouldn't let me get 5 minutes into that before I'm off playing something else even.
We're going to have like a therapy sesh soon. Don't worry. But that's maybe tomorrow, because that's it for Unmuted today.
Okay.
Remember, you can hit us up on all our socials. Just say hi or send us some stuff to react to. You can find us everywhere at Squad State. We'll see you later. Another month, another Cloud9 roster shakeup. The org's CSGO team has struggled to maintain a consistent lineup over the past year. Yesterday, Cloud9 announced the latest changes to its roster, and it's almost a complete overhaul. Daps, Mixwell, Kusta, and Tens are joining the starting roster. They're replacing Rush, Golden, Cajun B, and Vice, with the latter two being dropped from the org entirely. Rush and Golden have both been benched. The new recruits are a mixture of veterans and rising talent. Daps is a veteran captain who will serve as the team's new in-game leader, while Mixwell is leaving his homeland of Spain behind to return to North America. Kusta most recently played for Ghost Gaming, but was a free agent at the time of his signing. And Tens is one of the hottest prospects in North America thanks to his aim. This is the 9th roster move Cloud9 has made this year. We keep saying that each move will hopefully be the last, but at this rate, we expect a brand new shakeup come September. You'll be able to see if the new squad has got what it takes when it makes its debut July 13th at Blast Pro Series Los Angeles. The Toronto Defiant is holding true to its promise to make a mixed roster with 2 new signings. The Defiant has signed both Logix and Mangachu to its roster to play as DPS and Flex DPS respectively. Logix is best known for his time on the Florida Mayhem back in Season 1. After being dropped by the team, he bounced around between a few different contenders teams before he was promoted from Montreal Rebellion by the Defiant. Meanwhile, Mangachu is a fan-favorite player who has been playing competitive Overwatch since 2016. He's played for Team Canada in the Overwatch World Cup and for contenders teams like XL2 Academy. Defiant's signing of 2 DPS players lends credence to the rumor of the Overwatch League as it's moving to a 2-2-2 roster lock in Stage 4. We'll see if that rumor is correct when Stage 4 begins at the end of July, but until then you can see Logix and Mangachu compete with the Defiant at the Atlanta Reign homestead this coming weekend. Blaz loves me some Mangachu. Love that a good old Canadian boy is going to be on a good old Canadian team. Yes, listen, we love your support, so please give us a follow if you haven't already, or maybe hit that sub button. You get awesome emotes like this one. I'm just giving it to you like Squad Nana style. Oh, speaking of this, we're gonna head into some wrestling with some CEO vibes soon in ESPORTSIN30, cause Drew and Brody are standing by. They're gonna have a special guest join them too, so let's head on over.
Montan is the tap. No! Back throw!
He's still alive!
Fujimura's lost all his kunai. Needs one more hit.
The EX kunai coming. He's gonna jump. He's
Morozov!
gonna jump. Impressive medium after the flop shoulder.
My days!
And Bonchan finally converts.
One more, he can do it. Peekaboos. He's looking to close it out with the perfect.
Oh, he gets it!
CEO 2019 champion. Give it up for Nee.
Hey everyone, and welcome to ESPORTSIN30. I am Brody Moore, and the man beside me is none other than Drew Face. Now, Drew, there are probably some jabronis out there that didn't see what went down this weekend. What went on?
Brother, I bring to you a message from Daytona, Florida. There is something that happened this weekend. I, the purveyor of hype and fighting games, brings to you CEO when wrestling and fighting games come together.
Well, yes, it was definitely one of the hypest events of the year. Jesus, before we get to chatting, let's start our CEO recap with some Street Fighter V highlights.
Ah!
Takes those plus frames, and that's how he tries to challenge the CA.
John Ding with the 3-frame check. The unification is complete. The CEO champ taking out the CEO champion.
Not got a great position now. Just got to be careful.
Daigo goes for a fake out on that boom. Another one.
Oh my God!
And that time a
Oh my
jumping.
God!
The preemptive jumping, and Bonchan, it's like he's seen this entire set before.
The button and the throw, all the right reads from Bonchan. Another meaty.
I'll just interrupt that.
Oh my days! Did he get the trip guard there? The recovery on the trip guard gonna do it.
The
Bonchan!
damage.
Oh my days! What a dominant performance, Logan. You cannot anti that. Sweet recovery. That was greedy from Fudo.
Oh, the
reaction.
cancel!
Oh,
The call out!
He's
going to get! Oh, and he gets his wrongness around! And it's another set point for Machobo.
So intense, the dash.
Oh, not
the
anymore, the
throw,
shimmy! And Machobo is going to winners finals.
Wow. What a turnaround.
Chooses not to get the side switch off that. He goes for the back throw. Back to neutral.
where you going?
Just click with a Tenko.
Oh
my
that
God,
chase.
what a turnaround. Goes on a slide. What throw bait. He can't, he just has to take the throw.
You can chip him out.
Oh,
Stand medium connects.
The overhead. And Bonchan is in grand finals.
Oh my, he's taken every throw and the activation on plus. Oh, that's fly. Oh, no, he drops it.
He dropped it. Oh, no.
What happened? Oh, my God. Still got the critical on
Fujiwara
though.
has no kunai left. He's got the CA.
Can't get hit. Machobo can't get hit.
Oh,
Kazagiri into the critical arm. I told you, Logan, when it's your day, it's your bloody day, mate. Guys, this is so tight. Goes in. Fujiwara gets a counter hit. Release. Is it going to be enough? Oh,
and
we have a reset.
Fujiwara's reset the bracket.
Oh, great
neutral jump, perfectly timed.
Hardly used the jump against kunai, but yet Bonchan ready to anticipate it.
And Fujiwara eats a perfect now.
Zip, throw ticked. One more hit for Bonchan into the jump. No! Back throw.
He's still alive.
Fujiwara's lost all his kunai. Needs one more hit.
The EX kunai coming. He's gonna jump. He's gonna jump. Impressive medium after the flop shoulder.
My days.
And Bonchan finally converts off so many tournament points.
Drew Bonchan has finally done it. Not only does he have his first premiere under his belt, he also has a belt to show for it. To help us break down all the Street Fighter V action, let's welcome in FGC commentator UltraDavid. What's up, buddy?
What's going?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, our pleasure. I need some experts to break down this hype for me, so why don't we just dive right into Bonchan's win, man. He's been grinding for a while, and he's been so close, but he finally got it. How did he finally get this elusive premiere?
I think it's not a surprise that he won a premiere. He has won big tournaments in the past, and he's done it with weaker characters than he ended up doing it with this time, with Karen. So I'm not surprised at all. The only, maybe if there was a surprise, it was that he didn't win premieres for a little while, but, you know, he took some time off from playing competitively, and, you know, only half a year after really coming back in force, he's already won a major premiere. So I think it's not a surprise.
I mean, like, look, you and I both know, David, that Bonchan is a Sagat player. I don't know why he decided to play Karen to win this, and I know that he won most of his tournament with Karen. Does he need to stick with Karen to continue to take home the trophies and get those belts?
Honestly, probably. He honestly probably does need to stick with Karen. Sagat is, I think, Sagat's okay. Sagat is, I think, underrated in some ways, but he does definitely have some bad matchups. There are some matchups that you do not want to be playing against, and I think some of them were the characters he was playing against. Like, if I wouldn't want to play Sagat versus Ibuki. I wouldn't want to play Sagat versus Nikali, which we saw in top 8 as well. So in those, for sure, at a minimum, I think he needs to stick with Karen. But you know, there's a lot of matchups where Karen is probably better than Sagat. So even if Sagat is maybe doable, if you really want to win a premiere, there's a lot of money on the line, there's prestige on the line, like there's a lot on the line, then you got to give yourself the best chance that you can.
So are you saying we should all be tier enthusiasts like Bonchan?
I think that you should pick the character that is the strongest and that fits with what you like to do in fighting games. So it may not be that that means you should play like the best character in the game, but there's probably some character in like the top 10 or 15 or something that fits with what you like to do, that is maybe better than some other character that you could otherwise play.
This is what I was going to ask. Is like a forum. Was this, you know, more of just the character fit his playstyle a lot better, or was it just that the character, you know, is a better pick overall in all the other matchups?
Well, Karen is a better pick in terms of the matchups, but I think that Karen fits his playstyle well. He's been playing Karen for a long time. I mean, this is not a new thing for him. He's been playing Karen since pretty early. So it's not like this is a new switch that he's made. There are some other people who have just recently switched to Karen because they think that she's really good. This is not the case for him. So I think he must have identified her as being a character that fits with what he likes to do. Now, is it what he really wants to do is play Street Fighter 4 Sagat, which doesn't exist in Street Fighter 5.
No.
So that's it. I mean, but aside from that, yeah, I think Karen fits what he likes to do pretty well, sure.
All right, now let's move on and talk about some other people too, because the man that he beat was also on an absolute tear going into grand finals. How did Bonchan overcome the bracket reset and defeat Fujimura?
He was cheap. I already got it, David. He was cheap.
Okay, all right, bring it.
He was cheap. He was cheap. Ibuki's a cheap character, all right? Ibuki's one of the cheapest characters I've ever seen. That character makes you have to alternate Y to get out of a mix-up. That is not fair. That is not a fair mechanic.
But do you think that she's cheaper than Karen?
No, Karen is more brain straightforward and linear.
Karen's cheaper?
Yeah, I think Karen's way cheaper. That character presses beam kick or stand roundhouse B trigger and you win. And there's no scaling on that super. No way.
She does a ton of damage, yeah. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about her as being, definitely top tier. Some people think she's the best right now. I don't know if I caught into that, but
no.
She's definitely really good. You just have to have like really, really strong reactions. I mean, that's useful with any character, but she like so much depends on you hit confirming every single crouching medium kick, every single standing strong, every single standing fierce. You can't miss it, or the strength of the character is gone. And so I feel like that's, while she is really good, you have to be at a level like a Bonchan or a Punk or just really a few players in the world to make her be that effective. And Bonchan is there. He's always had great adaptation. His movement's always been really good. I think we saw that really well. I would say his movement was excellent. His hit confirms were really strong. So I think that his playstyle versus Fujimura was just kind of what he's been doing. But in those individual mix-ups, sometimes he was ready. Things worked out. It's hard to sometimes pinpoint exactly why somebody wins on any given set. But yeah, I think that all the aspects of his game were really, really going well.
Are we going to see a lot more like Karen's just popping up then, do you think, in the next little bit?
Well, for sure, because Ibuki's a way harder character. Ibuki's a way harder character.
It's Karen takeover, right?
Yeah, it's definitely Karen takeover. That blonde girl is going to ruin lives.
Anyways, yeah, so Fujimura went on an epic losers run, though, to get to Grands, but he was dropped in losers all the way back by John Ding. Can you talk to us about this crazy losers run, just how it was crazy, the things he did with his Ibuki as well?
It's super long to go all the way through losers like he did from pools. That trip is typically about twice as long as if you went through winner's side. And so, yeah, you have to beat way, way more people. It's very difficult. But he's such an innovator and he's so prepared. I feel like every single time he hits somebody, it's with whatever the maximum combo damage is into setup is. Whenever he's in a certain spot on screen, it's like always the right spot where he can react with whatever the proper thing is. He always seems so ready, and he's been doing well. So, when he lost in pools, that was maybe more a surprise to me than that he made this long losers bracket run. John Ding is really good, by the way, at Street Fighter, not just at Tekken. But yeah, the fact that he lost is the surprise rather than him making it through losers.
Look, speaking of John Ding, David, you and I are Street Fighter OGs, and I'm starting to notice a big problem in Street Fighter 5. A really big problem.
All right.
We got these anime players and we got these Tekken players trying to take all our money. David, tell us what's going on, because Book also beat Luffy. What are allowing these Tekken gods to come in and challenge our Street Fighter gods?
Do you think this has always happened? I feel like there's nothing new about this. It's always been the case that people like congregate in one or two games typically. Like back in the day, even if you didn't love it, everybody played Third Strike or CVS2. Like regardless of whether you were a Marvel player or a Tekken player or a KOF player, everybody also played those games. And I think that's Street Fighter 5 right now. Everybody plays that game. And it's got, even on top of that sort of just general, that always kind of happens, there's a good incentive to play it. There's a lot of money. And so players like Machabo, who is, a legend in Guilty Gear, financially, if he wants to be a pro gamer, it can't really be in Guilty Gear right now, unfortunately. It's got to be in Street Fighter or one of just a couple of other options. So he's made the switch as a result. I mean, back in the day, Fudo made the switch from Virtua Fighter to Street Fighter. Dual Kevin is now playing Street Fighter full-time instead of Marvel. Like this, this happens, and it's both because it always happens and because now there's also financial incentives on the line.
Yeah, that's your show right there.
That's my show for sure. We got David. I know you can't see it, but we are definitely putting up some money signs. We all know why we play Street Fighter Money 5 with the S dollar sign.
I mean, I really like the game, and in talking with Dual Kevin, for example, Dual Kevin really likes the game. He's been playing it the whole time.
Yeah.
I haven't talked with like Machabo about it. It's like a language barrier, but in terms of the other players who have made that switch, it's not just because of the money. It really, I mean, there is a financial reason to play it if you want to be a pro gamer, but in terms of why you play it from the initial level, I mean, you can't just go directly from, okay, I'm a legend in Guilty Gear to I'm going to win a Street Fighter major. I mean, there's like a lot of steps in between, and those steps suck, and you're probably not going to do it if you hate the game. So I really think that it's more than just that there's money on the line. It's that this is a game that a lot of people like, and there's like network effects working for it to
you have to enjoy what you're doing first, too, right?
Yeah. I mean, this version of the game is actually one of the most enjoyable Street Fighters I've played in a long time. Like you were mentioning it, they've managed to mostly iron out the kinks that everyone had with the game, and on top of that, they're not patching anything. Shouts to Kage. So we are like adapting to this new meta. But speaking of adapting, man, Fujimura.
Yeah.
That run he had.
Yeah.
Not so easy, and he got eliminated. Like he almost got eliminated by Fudo.
Yeah, Fudo he's cursed though. I think he dropped the combo that would have like ended the whole thing, right? Like, is it just a curse? Like, it's destiny for Fudo?
If you look at that match, sure, Fudo could have won it if he had done that one combo, right?
Yeah.
But Fujimura could have won it the round earlier and also in that same round. And then in the final round, there were also moments where it could have gone back and forth. It's just always, that happens, you know, I mean, is Fudo cursed? I don't think so. It's just that he's extremely strong and super consistent, and I don't really know what's preventing him from taking more majors than he has. Okay. But the fact that he gets second place and he gets to grand finals so often, or third place or whatever it is, that it's not like a sign of weakness or anything. You know what I mean? Like that is him being one of the absolute top 5 players in the world for sure.
Yeah, that's no easy feat.
Yeah, the ball don't lie. You know what I'm saying? The ball definitely doesn't lie. Sometimes you just can't win them all, right?
No, yeah. For sure. No, that's true, but it's just got to like eventually get frustrating, you know, being just consistent at the top, is great, but like you want to be the top. I
mean, right? Like even Fudo's even getting second and getting seconds. Like Tokido has more second places than Fudo right now. Like like Dave, you see that 3, man. That was some funny stuff.
Yeah.
But speaking of surprises, because that was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Another surprise in top 8 was the Marvel player Dual Kevin, man. He brought in the whole Marvel 3 community for the entrance. How has he been able to translate his Marvel 3 play into that top 8 finish at CEO?
Yeah, this is not a surprise either. You know, this is one of the best Marvel players in the world, and if you are one of the best players in the world at any game that has any kind of significant player base, then I feel like you can probably make the switch into some other game if you like it and if you really try hard at it. He's been playing Street Fighter V the whole time, like since launch.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Of course, his focus was Marvel 3, and then it was Marvel Infinite. And while I'm sure he would, you know, wish that Marvel Infinite did better and that it was, you know, still a major game that it was played by a lot of people, it's not the case. And so he has recognized that and has, you know, sort of transitioned to focusing more on Street Fighter V. And yeah, no surprise. You see a lot of the same things that you see in his Marvel play. You see really, really good space control, because he was able to play a zoning space control game in Marvel, which is hard, especially Marvel Infinite. That's super hard. But he did it because he has great understanding of spacing. His reactions are really strong. His movement is really strong. He's got a character in Rashid that can do all these things really well. So I think that it's his character choice, his strengths in Marvel, they all translate very well, I think, to Street Fighter V.
So what's like kind of a jumping period? So obviously a lot of these guys have been cross-training in Street Fighter V since launch and playing it for a while. But if a player were to come over from Tekken or Marvel right now, not have played Street Fighter V before, how long before they're able to crack into, you know, that top, you know, 32 kind of area?
That's a couple of years probably. Okay. You know, I know, for example, that Machabo, he has really ramped up his efforts in Street Fighter V over the past 2 years. And like now he's doing it. This year he's doing it. This year he's killing it. But he was a good player, like, immediately, of course, but in terms of his ability to get top 32, top 16, top 8, it's been a gradual movement for him. You could see in his results, like, okay, now he's top 32, it's a gradual thing. And now, quite a while later, he's in that short list of some of the best players in the world. So it's not a fast transition. It's something that you really have to spend time on. And that's why I say it's not something you can do if you don't like the game.
Yeah.
If you think the game sucks, you just too much time invested.
No.
It's just not worth it. Yeah.
At the end of the day. Anyways, UltraDavid, unfortunately, we are out of time with you, but I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, and we appreciate chatting some Street Fighter with us.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Now, of course, hey, I'm trying to throw.
Hey, my bad,
Of course, there's so many other events to talk about from CEO. Let's check out the absolutely epic Tekken 7 event.
He tried to sidestep. That might be it. You have to be careful. Don't whip. Don't whip. Oh, my God. And, oh, my God. He's doing it standing. He's doing it standing. Oh, my God.
This is huge.
Oh, yeah. Is he going to play defensively or is he going to try to close it out here? What's going to happen?
Gotta be careful with
oh,
the range art.
Oh, and he blocked it.
Oh, my God. What the hell? He's a god. Chanel's a god.
That is the second time.
Knee looking to close out game one. Kakoma though still has some life to work with. Now it raises another back one. Knee gonna take the first game.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, lights out. This is gonna be close. Not gonna be it, but man, one more mix-up can do it here. All right. Oh, and again, double low.
Do it. Damn, that was quick. Knee taking it with a convincing 2-0 over Kakoma.
My gosh, he has him there. This is bad for JDCR. He's in rage now. He's gonna have to do something.
One bar. No signs of Hawking that time.
Uh-oh, this is bad.
Yeah, very bad. The 50-50 is going to come into play down forward one or down two. There's the down forward one. Knee 3 rounds straight here.
He doesn't have enough life here. One more hit could end it.
Yeah, but rage, anything can happen.
What's he going to do?
Trying to close it out. One pixel left with James, and the down two going to take it. And Knee going to advance to the grand finals.
Oh, man. Has rage as well. A lot of damage. Oh, my gosh, the third hit.
Finish it.
Power crush again. Oh, watch out. Not that much life left there for Rongchu, and look at that.
On the down back two. This is how we got countered last time.
Oh, great positioning there. Able to use the throw break to his advantage.
Oh, boy, that it is. Chanel 2-0 over Rongchu.
15 seconds left.
It blocks. 13.
Oh, what a sidestep.
Chanel to the wall. And it's going to be Chanel going up 2-0 now. Got the lead. JDCR's got the race. Punish.
Okay, I like it, and he does have the lead, so he's going to have to be careful here.
So scary, so scary. Block the range. I fly mix up the low. 4 seconds. Who's going to take it? JDCR's got the lead. 2 seconds, 1 second. Who's got it?
Oh, he pulled it off.
It's a tie. It's a tie.
But
Chanel wins.
Because it's a tie, he had the round lead, and it's all over.
So close every round. And the time wind down so fast. The big back one.
Good
and that might be game one. He's got wings. Oh, God, the rocket launcher. He wants to take the tournament.
Oh, no, the entire arsenal here from Steve.
Rage mode for Chanel. Last chance for the tournament.
Oh, that was big.
He ducked it. He's going to finish the combo. He's got to finish it. Boom! We're living.
Yeah,
Chanel's got to poke his way back without getting countered. Big lead this time for Knee.
It's a race against time in the life bar. One more hit can do it.
Peekaboo. He's looking to close it out with the perfect.
Oh, he gets it.
CEO 2019 champion. Give it up for Knee.
Knee walked in with a Thanos gauntlet and walked away with a CEO belt. Now, Drew, talk to me about this man. How was he able to snap away all of his competition? It was nuts.
Brody, we talk about this man every week. Yeah. Every time there's Tekken, we talk about Knee. He is the center of attention. He is the man to beat. He is the greatest of all time in Tekken. And once again, he proves why he's the greatest.
Like, is it just like his training? Is it his mentality? Like,
it's a mix of talent and a mix of his competition and a mix of his training, right? Because he gets to play against top-level competition all the time.
Oh, I think you're gonna say his competition's not good enough. That's why.
No, come on. If you're that good, the people you play have to be even just as good or better, right? And so he's Korean, obviously top-level competition, and he got to play Steve. He is the only Steve player I know in the world that can play Steve that good. And he's so nasty with the bobbing and weaving. So what can you say? Nee wins another tournament.
Yeah, you're not surprising, right?
Nah, of course not.
All right, well, like, before we talk about like the grand finals, I want to talk about Nee's battle then against JDCR. These guys have been like having sets together for like a long time, and Nee always seems to have the edge. In these past few matches, JDCR though has struck with Armor King. So was this a surprise, or like was this kind of a natural progression for JDCR?
I feel like JDCR knows there's some potential with Armor King. Armor King's not really great at keeping pressure, but he's an amazing character in terms of when he does get his pressure going on, when he does get that knockdown, the mix-ups are ridiculous. And that's why I think he's sticking with Armor King. But like those two have a long storied history. In fact, if it wasn't for Nee, you would have no JDCR. Nee, back in the day, he wasn't as friendly as he is now, wasn't that nice, calm, collected person as we know him now. He used to be the linchpin of Korean Tekken at Green Arcade. And so he would always be beating up his like training partners and all these other Korean players until JDCR one day in Tekken Tag 2 rose up from the arcades and managed to body him. And when he finally did, Nee got hella salty, and that's been
Just
a
going
long
back and forth
that's
since
been
then.
a long-running rivalry since then.
That's great to see, like that rise up just because of Nee, and now they're kind of head-to-head all the time. It's a great storyline. Now let's get into the grand finals, and it was a Rocks Dragons head-to-head, Nee and Chanel. For Chanel to get to that point, he ran through losers all the way to get there. That's got to be like really tough to just keep yourself composed.
When you go to losers bracket or lowers bracket, you get to play double the matches. And
do you think the momentum helps?
Not only does the momentum help, but it kind of shows you how strong this Chanel is. Chanel has strong mental fortitude, and that's how he's able to keep up, destroy that lowers bracket with all those killers, and make it to grand finals to face his teammate. And that's what a testament to Chanel.
Well, I'm wondering too, because like he's got a deep pool of characters that he uses as well. I'm wondering if that helps him go through lowers, because like nobody can actually watch the match before and be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, because he can switch it up so much.
He plays Eliza. He plays a string of high pressure, high mix-up, high risk, high reward characters, and people get tilted when they play him. Because whenever he lands those high-risk maneuvers, they're like, how did he land that? If I blocked that, he would have lost. But he always lands it. He makes the right reads, and he's just a beast.
Okay, well, let's talk about his swagger too. This guy pops off, right? Like dancing in intros, and always after his win is popping off. Like, is he right now probably the most entertaining person in Tekken, do you think? Or is there someone else that matches?
I love Kokoma. I think Kokoma has much more personality than the others, but Chanel is definitely up there as well. But like I said, Chanel's a great person to play with, a great ambassador of Tekken. I just love what he does, man.
Your guy Kokoma, anyways, he didn't win CO, but he did win the cosplay contest.
Of course he did.
So what do you think of this guy's outfit?
I love it. I love it, man. He got the kimono on, he got the hair on, but he had to take it off. It was way too hot in Daytona. Just like me right now. Just like me right now. But hey, he won the cosplay contest. That wig was worth it.
So do you think maybe like, I know a lot of people like amp it up for like CEO and stuff. Do you think maybe this should be like brought, this atmosphere to other tournaments as well? Or do you think it should kind of just stick to that one place? I feel like if it's always happening, maybe we'll get more viewers all the time.
I feel like if it works for you organically, you should do it. But CEO is so unique because they take these creative risks in their tournaments. There's no other event that has a wrestling segment to it. There's other events that have cosplays competitions, but not to this degree, right? This is they put so much effort and time in making sure that every event they run is a premier event. And that's why it's so hot, like, woo, so hot.
Well, that's what, so, like, do you think it's like, obviously, I think wrestling is just like a perfect kind of match for FGC, right?
Of course,
it's
hype,
one-to-one, it's head-to-head. You got people like you yelling in the background, just hyping it up. Do you think there's another kind of theme that could run with the FGC, or is wrestling like the only one, it's the only one I can really think of? I'm wondering if there's like some other theme we could get.
You know, FGC's got a little hip hop.
Beach party FGC.
Yeah, there's beach parties. We always have a lot of after parties for FGC. But another thing too is there's a lot of hip hop influence in there, so we could probably fit that into another FGC event if it's organic. So
that's what I was wondering. I'm like, wrestling, it feels like just the most appropriate overall.
Overall, for sure.
Yeah. Now it is time, Drew, for us to get to your MVP for CEO. So who are you handing your belt to?
Oh, I'm definitely giving my belt to Chanel, baby. That was a crazy losers run. But also, man, Kokoma's up there. But no, Chanel, baby. Forget about it, Chanel. You're the best.
So why? Okay, obviously there's a bit of a debate there on who it should be. So why are you picking Chanel? Like, give me the deets on why over Kokoma.
What Chanel did especially in the extraordinary losers run, taking out all those names, JDC, right? Kokoma.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. And like much more. He cock blocked so many Americans, right? He cock blocked so many Americans. Kadokura was about to beat him, this close to beating him.
Yeah.
Takes her out,
Done.
right? And all of a sudden he goes on this extraordinary losers run, and now he just has to fight Nee, who he plays all the time. Is his trading partner. Of course he's gonna lose to Nee.
Yeah.
Right? That's the one person you should expect to lose to. Someone who knows you the best. So like, what can you say? What he did, he played double the amount of games compared to everybody else. A lot of mental fortitude was needed to do that.
That's fair.
I think he gets it.
That's fair. All right, Drew, I'm going to let you go. You've been popping off all day. I'm going to let you go
All
get
day,
a towel.
baby!
But there it is. Chanel is Drew's CEO champion. That's all for today's Esports in 30. Thank you to UltraDavid for hanging out today. Tomorrow's center of attention is doted to you for the Epicenter Major. Until then, hit us on our socials at Squad State. We'll see you later.
Oh yeah, I love that tag team back again. Brody, Drew, FGC Wednesdays are so tight. Listen, if you want to see more tightness, hit us up on our YouTube. We got all the action there if you missed anything from this show live on Twitch, but you can also just give us a follow and a sub and tune in and chat. We like it when you're in the chat so we can talk to you. If you can't be there, it's okay. Hit us up on all our socials at Squad State, and we'll see you tomorrow.